Response video to Luddite Returns. I played about 30 seconds of this thing earlier, and I said, oh, I'll have to come back to this, but I'm not going to listen to it twice. No way I would take notes, but it's just not worth the trouble. He's just a rude, obnoxious pig. Just simple. Or being philosophical, if being philosophically retarded were a crime, this is something he's already said, Inmendham would be executed. So it's you know, this accusation that I'm philosophically retarded. I don't know, what does that mean? That I'm not retarded in some other important ways? I'm just retarded in what? Elitist conversation? I mean, this is so ironic coming from somebody, you know, intellectuals who are too stupid or too lazy to be able to make their argument in any kind of thing called a common language, a language that the people would understand. I mean, isn't that the definition of failure? I'm really, really smart, but I'm too stupid to figure out that 99% of the people I just said something to don't understand what I said? I'm sorry. I mean, that's almost hilarious, right? The smart people are too stupid to be able to communicate to the dumb people? Oh, really? Yeah, sorry. Fail. You're just an elitist prick. Period.
It elicits ire. It inspires incredulity that I have to fucking explain to Inmendham.
No, let me explain to you, alright? There's just no point in using a word, and I do a Google search on it, and that word just comes up every single instance of the use of the word. So that means that all the people on earth are not communicating that word in your special way. Okay? They don't know your secret little bedroom talk. Okay? And the word, you know, when you say no, it really means yes. Yeah, they don't know your little secret bullshit. Alright? And you're sitting there, this pretentious asshole, telling everybody else, I have to accept your labels. You have some little bedroom name for me, like Wanky Panky Man. And everybody's supposed to know when you say Wanky Panky Man that you mean Inmendham. Well, guess what? That just doesn't make any sense to go on the street and start talking that way, you fuckhead. Okay, so really, you're going to have a conversation in public on YouTube. You know the audience on YouTube. Is the audience made up of a bunch of elitist pricks like yourself? No. So who are you talking to, you crazy fuck? I mean, you're the definition of a crazy fuck. You're using your special little bedroom wankety-pankety language that you jerk off to in public. You know? It just doesn't make any sense, shit. It's like wearing your special leather and vinyl, you know, with the chains and the whips. It's like taking that stuff and wearing it to work. That would be really ridiculous, wouldn't it, silly person? Yeah, so take the dildo out of your ass and smell reality and use real language. If I could give you a polygraph test, I have no fucking doubt that you use the word hedonism as a ploy. And that's all you're using it for, so you're just a fucking liar to boot. Okay, there's just no doubt about it. You're playing with the word hedonism because it's an ugly, disgusting word. Okay, it is a fucking disgusting fucking word. And you're labeling people who have no love for that word with that word. Because you're a fucking manipulative, rude, and obnoxious, lying piece of shit.
The hedonic asymmetry, right?
Again, the hedonic asymmetry, invented by who, espoused by who with those words? Where is this, you fuck?
Or hedonic or hedonistic framework have nothing whatsoever to do with women in bikinis or sloth or instant gratification, so on and so forth.
Well, look, we're going to keep playing the game. It's okay, hedonic. Okay, so that's a new word we got, hedonic. It's not new, it's the version. So you want to play with hedonic. So let's do the Google search on hedonic and see what we get. Yeah, how would that be? Google image search. Let's see. I might have changed this thing actually because I was mad at Google. So it may not work anymore. So hedonic. So there we got a naked guy. We got some universal pictures. We got some babies. We got people smelling armpits. We got people eating cake. Okay, what do we got here? What do we got here? We got angels riding unicorns. I mean, this doesn't look like anything. Do you see anything feel safe here? Do you think anything here that's a fear of harm? Do you see any apprehension about harm? Do you see anything cancer anywhere in here somewhere? Do you see any, fancy cars, sensual pictures, more cake, hedonic skull and crossbones like a pirate? I don't know. That might be somewhere close. I'm not sure though. Smiley face, that's hedonic. Smiley face, more hedonicism. Cupcakes. Yeah, that's just so fucking close to efilism and cupcakes. Yeah, those two things are right next to each other in the fucking dictionary, you cunt. I mean, you're just slandering people, and that's all you're fucking goddamn doing. This is not what I believe in. I don't believe in pursuing your potato chips and doing your spiritual sunsettingism, and you're deriving your pleasure, taking your beast, chewing on your dead turkeys. All this fucking crap, Homer and his goddamn donut. That's not my philosophy, alright? And you're going to label me with that word, and I'm supposed to say what to you except fuck you, alright? Give me your ethnic background. What's your complete ethnic background so I can just find the proper slur, and I'll slur you with it, you fuck. I find the word preposterously offensive. I have nothing to do with hedonism. Nothing. Fuck you. It's just so damn rude.
Again, my working assumption is the more philosophic expression of the word is against the colloquial. In other words, Gary, get your mind out of the fucking gutter.
No, just talk to the whole human race. Tell everybody on YouTube, everybody in the world, get your mind out of the gutter. Hedonism isn't about cupcakes and Homer Simpson eating donuts and turkeys and smiley faces and sunsets and pursuing your Ojo Mojo. No, it's none of that shit, okay? So why don't you write a letter to Google and explain to them that they have it wrong? I mean, this is just such a... You fuck you.
Now, by hedonic asymmetry, I mean simply...
Well, why don't I just call you a Nazi pedophile, and I'll say what I mean by that is that sometimes you pick up paper off the floor. Alright, so there, I'll just use some word that's obnoxiously ugly. You're a fucking Nazi pedophile. Okay, and what that really means in intellectual bibble-babble talk is that you pick immature pieces of paper off the floor. Fuck you.
The contention that if qualitative hedonic experience could be quantified, one could never be hedonically benefited.
Yeah, well, whatever. Right. Yeah, so I have to take now even your presuppositions that there is any such thing as a pleasure separate from a pain, that there's somehow you could actually want or be hungry for something, okay, and no, that you could still want it without being hungry, that somehow you don't need to have the need first, like that's somehow possible. So again, you don't even get that there is no fucking affirmative behavior anyway. I mean, that's even part of the... There isn't even any negative utilitarianism here because there is no fucking any utility. It's all just negative.
The hedonistic framework is an umbrella phrase for the understanding of harms and benefits in terms of pleasure and pain. Said framework may have both descriptive and normative expressions. Now, why would one subscribe to the hedonic asymmetry?
Well, again, you're okay. Well, go ahead. There is no hedonic asymmetry. This is just crap. This has nothing to do with the conversation you have on YouTube, idiot. The hedonic asymmetry. Let's go survey the human race and see how many people get the question right. You can even make it a multiple choice question, and I bet they're going to get it fucking wrong. What is hedonic asymmetry? Let's write that down. Go ask the people of Earth and see what kind of answer you fucking get.
Inmendham argues that pleasures are contingent on deprivations, such that pleasure is deprivation supervening, and that there is a quantitative depth to deprivation, where supervening pleasure can never be greater. Therefore, quantitatively, hedonic experience is always harmful, neutral at best. Now, there are two things you should know about Inmendham's asymmetry. First, it is a...
Well, what, you calling my asymmetry a hedonic asymmetry? Again, so you're a Nazi pedophile. Okay, let's just establish that then. Fine.
Rancorous pile of manure. And second, that...
Oh, yeah, and that's just so fucking... You're just so entitled to such respect for that kind of rhetoric, aren't you? Nobody should be offended by that kind of drivel and puke that comes out of your disgusting, putrid face. Nobody should be revolted and say, fuck you, cunt. No, they should just take that crap from you. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Inmendham doesn't even defend his shit pile. He asserts it axiomatically and then conflates it with...
Oh, bullshit, I don't defend it. No, there's only all those videos explaining it in detail, explaining even how our whole psychology works, how energy comes in and how it mixes around in our brains through these different mechanisms of conditioning, how there's a lizard, the ape, the human, all these degrees. No explanations whatsoever. You're just a fucking liar. Alright, that's just a fucking lie. You lying fucking goddamn Nazi pedophile.
Truth. To briefly reiterate on why this subset of frustrationism is, as a matter of fact, a manure pile. First, it metaphysically asserts a necessitation where there is none. That is, understanding desire as a phenomenological, possible, actual world mechanism that bridges said worlds together. It is simply a non sequitur to that desire is contingent on deprivation.
Oh, really?
If by deprivation we...
Oh, that's just hilarious, right. So there's no... Hunger is not a recognition of deprivation. It does not create a necessity for satisfaction. That's his point. So if I hold you underwater, the urgency to get air isn't urgent. There's no urgency. There's no negative to that desire to get air. I mean, this is just stupid. Struggling to get a deep breath is a fun time.
I mean, a state worse than neutral. To recognize a possible...
I'm not saying it's a state worse than neutral. You've invented this concept of neutral, okay? Like there's a neutral somewhere. I've already established that the neutral is essentially perfection. That you can only go down from perfection. You can only be something short of in your state of being. Alright? And that, yes, all of it is necessitated on a perception. A perception that's created first by sticking a stick up your ass and then retracting the stick. And as the stick is retracted, clearly there's a sense of relief. But a sense of relief is not the same as a positive gain. So the fact that your brain creates a mechanism that has you in the deluded state of thinking you're gaining ground because one of your broken legs has miraculously healed. Yes, you've miraculously been relieved of a burden, but you're still burdened.
Experiential state is hedonically better than a current hedonic state does not entail that the current state is one of deprivation or a negative state. It's merely less good than it could be.
Less good than it could be. Yeah, I mean, amazing. So you'd have to, for less good than it could be to mean anything, you'd still have to argue that you have some evidence that you're above neutral. Okay? That you're somewhere above neutral. Because it would mean nothing for you to say that unless you were already above neutral. So you'd already have to be somewhere in positive territory for you to make this claim.
Second, the hedonic asymmetry is contingent on the plainly outlandish claim that there is an omnipresent quantitative correlate between deprivation and pleasure. Clearly, experiential hedonic benefit can be greater than the hedonic negativity of deprivation. For example, I'm negative 1 unit deprived in being hungry. I enjoy a nice meal and experience 5 pleasure units. Taking both deprivation and pleasure into account, I'm hedonically plus 4.
Yeah, well, again, so whose philosophy is this? Again, who? So this is just nonsense. Where did I ever put values of 1 unit and 10 units or do any of that crap? What video is that unit crap in there? What I said is that there is a quanta to this thing. I said I don't care what exactly it is, because it's always going to be a subjective perception from each individual, okay, of the exact values of these things. What I'm saying is we don't need to know the exact values, because we know what the mechanism is. It's creating the illusion of value. So again, you're going to keep telling me the Cheeto has value. I'm telling you, I can pretty much demonstrate that Cheeto is made out of synthetic cheese. It is not a real thing. It is a projection of value in your neurology. The suffering mouse over here versus the Cheeto over here. The suffering mouse has real value. It's experiencing real negative. The Cheeto has no positive value. It's entirely just a projection in your neurology. That's the distinction. So shove your unit crap up your ass, okay, until you prove that I've ever sit there and gone, this is 3 units, and, having sex with, whatever, Imelda Marcos is, well, I guess that's about 10 negative units, right, or 5,000 negative units? I don't know. She's dead now, right? So that, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that's not the point, right? Fuck you and putting unit values. You just made those up.
As it were. Inmendham declares this impossible. And then Inmendham's declaration of impossibility is empirically unverified, overwhelmingly experientially false, and explanatorily poor. I call bullshit.
No, there's no point in you calling bullshit, because guess what? Bullshit is a common word. Everybody knows what bullshit is, jackass. And everything you say is incomprehensible before you say the word bullshit. You're not allowed to use a word like bullshit, you fucking cunt. You're going to sit there and play these fucking word games. I'm going to say it in my special code, and then at the end I'll say bullshit. Fuck you. You're just revealing your own duplicity. You'll use a word like bullshit, right? A common, dirty, human word like bullshit, all right? But you can't use, in the rest of what you say, you have to use your secret special language because you're such a fucking intellectual. So this is what fucking intellectuals do when they want to communicate with the human race, okay? They use words like bullshit, and then they veil everything else in a bunch of goddamn jibber-jabber. You're just revealing yourself for what you are, a pretentious, obnoxious, elitist, lying, motherfucking pedophile Nazi.
The hedonic asymmetry also oddly necessitates that a condition of greater deprivation is the condition of possibility of greater experiential states of pleasure, where pleasure is supposedly a return to qualitative neutrality. Now, in some cases this would seem true, but it's so outstandingly false on attempting to be universalized as to hardly need mentioning.
All right, it hardly needs to be mentioned. Well, I think it does need to be mentioned. I think you really do need to prove that your ambition to be Queen of France is something other than just a pile of crap or bullshit that your brain farted.
Consider sex. Let us first understand that desire and deprivation are not synonymous. It is.
Well, let's make the argument. I think the argument can be made that the people who, let's say, they don't get gratification, they remain sexually frustrated, romantically frustrated, that they tend, on average, let's say, to have a greater appreciation. That you do gain appreciation through suffering, through not having. Okay, walking the desert does give you more appreciation for the sanctuary when you finally reach it, the air conditioning and the cupcakes. So, but go ahead, let's see where you're going to take this.
It's often experientially the case that the less one is deprived of sex, the better the sex is. And conversely, the more deprived one is, the worse it may be. Perhaps it's become unfamiliar.
Oh, that's just, I find that hilarious. What do you mean, a technique or something? So you really believe that's true, that the people who have casual sex take sex more seriously and aren't usually alcoholics and drug users? No, I'm sorry, it's usually they're the people that usually are finding their life unsatisfying, in my opinion. They seem to me to be the losers in life, not the winners.
Awkward or anxieties are present that wouldn't be having been less deprived. You orgasm too quickly, etc.
Oh, this is such a pile of psychological crap. Really, where'd you make this up? Right, you just made this shit up, right? Like those problems aren't problems. I mean, certainly you can gain some control over your proficiency with practice. I mean, everything you get better with a little bit of practice. But newsflash, it doesn't take much practice. I guess you haven't had very much practice, and you don't realize that it really doesn't take very long to learn how to have sex.
The point is, pleasures are often greater where deprivations are less, as against the hedonic asymmetry.
Yeah, I just find that hilarious. No, I'm sorry. Appreciation is maximized, in my opinion. If you really want to know a great potato chip, don't have one for 5 years. You know, I mean, come on. Fuck you. You're an idiot.
And, of course, another reason Inmendham's frustrationism is a steaming shit pile is that it gives no account for pleasures where there were no experienced deprivations, because something new is being introduced. A friend invites me to check out the band Beach House. I do so and experience, let's say, 100 pleasure units. Now, prior to listening to said band, I wasn't 100 units Beach House deprived.
Well, it's just stupid. The point is that you are always deprived. The mechanism deprivates you. Even if I give somebody $1 million, I could give them $1 million. In a week, they're already going to start feeling deprived. They're going to say, damn, I really need 2 million, or maybe 10. I mean, $1 million just isn't enough. So don't talk to me. We see it in human behavior constantly. All right? Give somebody what they want, and they will want more. All right? It is not an appetite that is satisfied. So the fact that you were capable of being satisfied or in need of some sort of gratification was a fact before you even got to your friend's house. You weren't perfectly comfortable. That's why you got off your ass and went somewhere, is because you said, I'm not perfectly comfortable. If you were perfectly comfortable, you would have just sat in your own couch. You would have just sat with the book you were already reading. You wouldn't have bothered going anywhere or doing anything because you would be satisfied. Retard.
I may have existed with the general disposition to enjoy good music without being in a negative experiential state. And when the general disposition is expressed via concrete and unique experience, it's an acutely manifest hedonic sum total positive.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. I mean, there's this idea that, oh yeah, so what if there's a great sunset tonight? It's all going to be just magical, 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 magical. 5 million fun points. I mean, that's all a lie anyway. We know all that crap is way the fuck oversold. All right? Yeah, that shit lasts about 3.5. If you're lucky, you get 3.5 minutes out of it. And then that wears off, and you're like, where are the white women at? Where's my fucking slushy and my Big Mac? So don't play this game that you gain some sort of ethereal, magical, super moment that you definitely go through a week of chemotherapy for that goddamn magical musical moment. What a pile of shit. I mean, I just wish we could monetize this shit so I could prove this goddamn point that if we put this shit in the store, if we put the pain and we put the silly gain on the damn shelves and people had to pay the real price for it up front, okay, if they knew what the real deal was going to be, there's no way they'd buy that shit.
So the conclusion here. Pleasure, understood in part as that experiential state of affairs hedonically better than neutrality or an indifferent state of affairs.
Well, whatever. So again, you keep talking like this has something to do with me, all right? This has nothing to do with my philosophy, so you're slandering me. This isn't a paraphrase of my philosophy. I don't think there's any such thing as a positive gain type pleasure, okay? All you're doing is getting rid of the tensions and the irritations and the burdens that exist inside of you all the time. All the time. No matter how nice a day it is, no matter how good I feel, the fact is, I'm always sort of aware of the fact that I'm poor, and that I'm getting old, and that I'm vulnerable, and that I got problems, I got this, and I'm always aware of these tensions. I'm not liberated, I'm not free, okay? And so I can only grasp little moments of that. And there's little moments that are very nice, okay? You feel very good, you feel very comfortable in the world. And those are moments where you are, the burdens do release. You're separated from this notion of your tie to it, okay? And you're separated through vicariously watching a movie or some other event, and that consumes you. Your essence essentially just flows into that story, and you're liberated from your burdens of your reality. But let's not pretend they don't exist. You're ugly every day of your fucking life, and your goddamn brain knows it. And that's how you gain a little bit of relief once in a while, is your brain once in a while lets you have the delusion of forgetting that you're an ugly little troll with a foul, stinking, putrid mouth.
Is both coherent and experientially confirmed, and Inmendham's hedonic asymmetry is indeed that aforementioned manure pile. Now, one of Inmendham's often repeated lines in the context of procreation.
No, another clever move by the intellectual. So this is what non-retards do when they communicate. Non-retards put crap over their face so it blocks their voice so the audio is degraded. That's what non-retards do when they decide to communicate with the human race. Brilliant non-retard. Man, if you're the standard for non-retard, we are just so kick-ass. Man, we ought to put humans everywhere in space because they're just so fucking smart. Oh, these non-retards are just so fucking cool. These philosophically not retarded fuckers are just so fucking kick-ass. Not.
Is to reference the non-existers on Mars and bring up that their non-existence is not lamented, as if this were supposedly normative or leads to an anti-Nihilist conclusion. The non-existence of non-existers is not lamented in part because no one is being deprived of the benefits of existence. Agreed. But this clearly does not mean that it wouldn't have been better. This is counterfactual.
It wouldn't have been better, but we can't notice the better. So here's a better that's supposed to be worth something, but somehow you don't notice it. When the better is missing, somehow you just don't notice it. See, again, fail. With the thought experiment, and clearly you should just use the thought experiment of now, which is this video is after. Okay, Pluto has all the just is cold, no happiness on Pluto, but no sadness, and then just sadness and horror and pain on Mars. Where do you go first? To go bestow the poor empty planet with its wonderful happiness that it's missing, or do you relieve the suffering? Yeah, easy answer. That's right, because that defines the truth. It reveals the truth to you. Okay, that all your talk about the value of these pleasures is just that. It's talk out of your fucking bullshit-owned DNA psychology. It has absolutely nothing to do with reality. You can only project value for you. You can't project value into the universe that way. The only value that has any real value is that suffering on Mars. That missing pleasure is revealed for what it really is. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
For the non-exister to come into existence. In other words, procreation is supererogatory.
So you'll use a word like supererogatory, and then you'll use the word bullshit. So that's how you communicate. That's how you mix languages together. That's how you bastardize communication. Fuck you, farthead.
This whole bit about the non-aliens on Mars is essentially valueless. Now,
yeah, what a pussy move. I mean, really. Oh, yeah, that was a great counter-argument. You sure proved how it doesn't reveal exactly the truth of it, that if it had any real value, if it had any real meaning, you'd really be lamenting it. You'd really feel the pain of the absent pleasure. But you don't feel the pain of the absent pleasure.
Inmendham often expresses the supposed futility of existence in stating that for existers to, quote, there's nowhere to go. The irony here is that Inmendham confirms axiological nihilism only to reject it, as if the metastructure of our existence is that of meaninglessness.
No, I've already described the origins of our existence. It's a replicating molecule. Newsflash. That's what science has been saying for 200 fucking years. So again, get with the program, fucktard. It's a replicating molecule. A molecule that doesn't have a brain. The universe isn't a god. It didn't know ahead of time it was a good idea. And it doesn't have any natural skills. No intellectual skills whatsoever. You think the universe is philosophically enlightened? Is that your argument? I'm philosophically retarded, but the universe is philosophically enlightened? The DNA molecule has philosophical enlightenment built into it. It knows just how much suffering to impose, shithead. It knows. Fuck you.
Then said meaninglessness is meaningless. In arguing for the meaningfulness of meaninglessness, Inmendham either rejects the axiological nihilism he supposedly confirmed.
Oh, what the fuck? No, I've made it quite clear. We don't serve an inherent function, so then we have to prove some other function, okay? God didn't invent us to be the wings on a super plane, right? We're not the legs on a hot woman. We're not a vital piece to something good. We don't function as something. We're not a cane for whatever. We're just not built to be anything of use in the universe. So we have to prove some sort of use. All right? It isn't inherent in our function. That's the argument, shithead. You can't impose risk, okay, unless you can come up with some reason to accept the risk. Some cause that needs to be served, and you're not going to find it intrinsic in the function. Shit for brain.
Or erroneously injects meaningfulness into a meaningless universe. Again, the proposition that life is futile will present itself as persuasive, as true, only to those who are looking for some transcendent foundation outside of life.
No, that's not what it's about. See, again, so what a lie. It's just a fact. It's a DNA molecule. There's no God, shithead. All right? What you think a DNA molecule has built into it, rational ethical judgment. Is that your argument? Natural selection has built into it some sort of mechanism that'll always regulate it just right. No. That's illogical.
As experience that grounds it, and empty to those who experience life or the states of affairs within life as sui generis valuable. At this point, it's basically tautological that Inmendham is fucking retarded, so...
Oh, whatever. Tautological, and then you use a word like retarded. Is that a special use of the word retarded? Maybe I should go do a special search on the word retarded, because maybe you're actually saying I'm brilliantly fantastic. Yeah, maybe in the special elitist philosophical world, maybe retarded doesn't mean fucking dumb and idiotic and moronic. Maybe it means something really cool. Maybe you just said I'm really, really cool. Yeah, because words don't matter anymore. Just blow them all to bits and talk your bibbly-babbly, gooey-booty bullshit. You fucking elitist cunt.
Thank you for chiming in. I've much enjoyed.
I know. know who the fuck you're talking to. Thank you for chiming in. I much enjoyed. I think that was a little bit retarded. I think that ending was fucking retarded. Who the fuck are you talking to? Jeez. Video's not a response to any video. No video response thing here. No. Oh, brilliant. To be serious. Now she's down to 4 or 5 word sentences. Didn't I say make it simple? Oh, did you say that? By the way, good video. Yeah, you slandered him good. Yeah. Yeah, talk trash, bitch. Fucking cunt. Oh, these people are just out of control. Out of control. Nothing to say. I mean, really. Oh yeah. This is what intellectuals do, though. This is the game they play. They slander people with preposterous abuses of language, and because they didn't just say right out, "I hate your fucking guts, you useless cunt." Nah, that's okay, because they said it in special secret talk. Fuck. Pathetic. Pathetic.